Today I'm going to show you how to do the herringbone stitch left-handed. Use single all-purpose thread and run it through beeswax before you start. This will help it not get tangled as easily and make it a little bit stronger. Thread your needle, tie your knot, and then you're going to anchor your thread in the far right corner if your hem is facing you with the wrong side of the fabric up. If you've forgotten where we start, we have our fabric prepped so that it's folded over 1/4 inch and then 1 3/4 inch to make the hem. You're going to place your thread right here under this first fold in the corner so that you can hide the knot. Once you've got that in there securely, fold it back up and you're ready to start. Start by securing it by just going through the hem and the fabric with a stitch to make sure it's secure. Once you have that done, you're ready to start. The first part of the stitch goes through the top part above the hem only, and then the second part goes through the bottom of the hem only. So what you've got is some movement between the hem that's folded up and the fabric behind it. Your needle moves from left to right, pushing the needle, even though when I take my next stitch, I'm going to move towards the left. So it can be a little awkward, but once you start doing it, it becomes pretty simple. Purpose of this seam is to allow for movement between the hem and the back of the fabric. On the back side, you're only going to see the top stitch. You're not going to see the lower row. If you do see the lower row, then you're doing it incorrectly because you're going through all the layers of the hem instead of just the top layer of the hem. This is also used in tailoring for applying horsehair and interfacing. And this stitch is a very pretty decorative stitch that can be used in quilting or embroidery. You want to try to regulate how much you pull so that it's not too tight and puckery, but it's also not loose and hanging either. This will create a nice consistent seam. You can control what your stitch looks like based on the distance from the hem that you're inserting the needle and the width of your stitch. So you can see here in the beginning it's very tight and close to the hem, and then closer towards the end I get farther away. The farther away I am, the more of a triangle it's going to be. The closer I am, the flatter it's going to be, less of a triangle. When you get to the end, secure your 2 pieces of fabric, your hem to your fabric, as you normally would by tying off. And you simply repeat a stitch, and before you pull the thread all the way taut, leave a little loop and go through it. You really only have to do it twice. I'll do it for you several times here so you can see what we're doing. I'm not pulling all the way. I leave a loop. I pull through nice and tight. Make a small stitch, leave a loop, pull through, nice and tight, and then cut it off. You can see that's a nice chunk of high ones. There's a little bunch of low ones. You can decide however you want it to look. The back of the stitch will show only the top part, and it should be small.